So look, there are trips and then there are unforgettable memories, and New York at Christmas time definitely falls in the latter. For the next 72 hours, we're living out the perfect holiday movie montage. We'll be visiting Christmas markets, marveling at window displays, eating pizza, and soaking up the magic of the holiday season in one of the greatest cities on earth. We hope you enjoyed this as much as we did, and you can get a map with all these stops to plan your trip in the description.
We made it to Manhattan on a cold December morning. First stop, bagels.
Opened in 1976, Ess-A-Bagel has been a New York institution for decades. We were there on a weekday and the line was out the door, and people rave about these massive bagels which have a chewy inside and a slightly crisp outside. While you're waiting, you can often see them making them in the back, and Amy and I both grabbed a sandwich with avocado, egg, and she got salmon, I got sausage.
I'm excited about this.
Zagat reported the best bagel in New York City. That's pretty much the perfect way to start your morning in Manhattan, and now we're off to a holiday show.
Just so you know, this is a walking and subway-based itinerary, and we walked over 80,000 steps during the 3 days we were there. We started by making our way towards Fifth Avenue, which is the Christmas headquarters in New York City. We spent more time here later in the video, but we did stop to see the outside of the Cartier building.
This is what it's like December in New York. This is the line for Ralph Lauren coffee right there. Is it worth waiting 45 minutes for Ralph Lauren coffee? No idea.
Across the street from the coffee shop is St. Patricks Cathedral, and so we headed over there to see that before the crowd started getting crazy down here. This is one of the most beautiful cathedrals in the United States, and it was finished in 1878. The building is massive as well, and it covers the equivalent of a full city block. For Christmas, they had a nativity scene set up that was beautiful with the different colors that they had lighting it up. Leaving the cathedral behind, we walked past Saks Fifth Avenue, which was going to have a light show later that night, and over to the Rockefeller Center where the famous tree was.
So they're setting up for the tree lighting, and these are all of the pens for controlling the crowd. I can't even imagine how that's going to be tonight. The tree is over here. And there is the famous tree. We'll see it tomorrow when it's lit up.
I know how busy New York gets during the Christmas season, so I figured the best time to go would be right before the Rockefeller tree was lit. This worked out fine for us as we only had one night where the tree wasn't lit, and then the rest of the time it was.
In case you were wanting to come here, these people are already lining up. It is 1 o'clock right now, and it is going to be lit at 10 tonight. I'm good not seeing that. I'm good waiting till tomorrow.
Also, pro tip I was told when I was here is that they light it every morning at 5 a.m. so you can actually go just see that if you want to see the tree lighting without the crowds. Next, we were heading to Radio City Music Hall, and I couldn't take my camera gear inside with me, so I found this thing called Luggage Hero, and I actually went and dropped it off at a barber shop in the subway. I'm happy to say that it did work out, and it was only $10 for a few hours.
I am so excited for what we're doing next, the Christmas Spectacular with the Rockettes.
You could be in the show.
I need my stretchy pants on.
If you're going to New York City during Christmas, this is probably on your list, and it's so popular that they have 5 shows a day. Just a note, get there early as it takes a long time to go through security. Plus, you're going to want to explore the magical interior lobby as well.
Oh, wow, this place is incredible at Christmas. Look at that tree.
Of course, you can't take videos during the performance, but this was their 100-year anniversary.
No, it's not the most exciting video as I couldn't show you anything in there, but that is absolutely a must-do Christmas attraction in the city. That was so much fun. Way better than I expected it to be. What do you think?
It was so much fun. I thought it was just going to be the Rockettes, but it was a whole Christmas theatrical performance.
Yeah, don't miss that. It's well worth it.
Well, that worked out really well. My bag is here, my camera's still in it. Let's go explore more of the city.
Heading back past Radio City, they were already lining up for the next show, and we got to see the famous tree. And then we just decided to walk down 6th Avenue to our next stop.
It's busy and there's a lot of people down here, but there's just something about seeing iconic spots like that you've seen your whole life in movies. So cool.
These ornaments first appeared in the 1990s, and they've been a go-to backdrop for TV crews covering Christmas in New York. And while most people walk 5th Avenue to see all the stores, 6th Avenue is pretty cool as there's lots of displays there as well.
I feel like every corner of this city is Christmas. It's beautiful.
This specific Christmas tree was the one outside of Fox Studios.
We made it to our next stop in the city, the Bryant Park Winter Market.
It's actually called the Bryant Park Winter Village, but close enough. This market started in the early 2000s, and it was modeled after European Christmas markets. It was created here as a way to revive the Bryant Park area during the colder months. and now it's become the go-to Christmas market in the entirety of New York City. I mean, if you want to see a place mobbed as much as Rockefeller Tree is, go here on a weekend, especially closer to Christmas. Here they have everything from holiday shops with handmade goods, small businesses, and food stalls, to an ice rink that's free if you bring your own skates, or you can pay to rent skates there. If you want to do the ice skating though, be sure to get your reservation online.
There's just something cool about seeing an ice skating rink in the shadow of the Empire State Building up there.
We started by trying a few different foods, and we were told that the waffle shop and of course the raclette shop is where you have to go.
So we're looking for a raclette, but we got excited about a waffle before we could find one.
It's not a raclette, but it'll do.
We're starting with dessert. Look at that thing. Here's the waffle meter. It tells you when you should stop sharing your waffle. And there you go, Amy's digging in. Are you even gonna want a raclette after this?
Probably not. Look at that. Would not go wrong with Nutella and banana.
And from there we wandered around until we found the Big Cheese House.
Look at how many wheels they got. There's like 6 wheels back there. There's more on this side over here.
If you're not familiar with the raclette, it starts with a big wheel of cheese that's heated under a broiler. And once the top layer gets bubbly and almost molten, the vendor then scrapes the melted cheese straight onto a toasted baguette.
Thank you. Your raclette, my dear.
Ooh, thank you, sir.
Alright, so this is a raclette. Amy and I got it for the first time when we were in Chicago. They basically just heat all that cheese up, pour it down onto the bread, and then they throw some more on the top for good measure. And we got pickles and mustard and onions in it, which is how they recommend. Melty, warm goodness. It's a $20 sandwich, but I'm upset about it. I guess they're letting me have this part. I really want to eat it.
You're so kind. It's like a warm, delicious hug.
Due to the way the cheese smells, the raclettes aren't for everybody, but Amy and I both love it. There's lots of other great options though, like the ever popular cheese wheel pasta.
This is interesting because I was expecting a German market, but it's definitely not what it is. You can see there's a golf store, there's some clothing stores. It kind of seems more like a local market.
That's not to say that it isn't fun to walk around and take in all the different stalls and look for unique Christmas gifts. I was just expecting there to be more Christmas and holiday themed shops, which there really weren't.
I'm intrigued by this chocolate shop. It says no chewing allowed, and you're supposed to just let it melt in your mouth. I might have to try one of those.
Looking back, I should have said no before I walked into this shop because it became somewhat of an obsession during my weekend in New York. You'll see that later in the video.
As I was looking to buy chocolates, I saw this line that they normally have for the hot chocolate, and I'm like, I gotta do that. I feel like that's the way to really experience it, and it's cold, so I'm ready for some hot chocolate.
They had 8 hot chocolate machines going at once, and the guy told me that on the weekends it could be 100 people deep, the line here. And then once you order your hot chocolate, they take one of the truffles, place it at the bottom, and then fill it up.
You can tell that this is thick because of just like how it moves inside of the cup. It's not moving very fast.
Wait, I didn't get to try it first.
Oh my gosh. That definitely tastes like a melted candy bar truffle in the middle of there. That is wild.
That is some incredible hot chocolate. Some of the best I've ever had. It reminds me of Angelina in France. I mean, I don't think I can drink this whole thing, but that's incredible.
After exploring for another 45 minutes and watching the ice skaters, we decided to get in the subway and head on to our next stop. We figured since it was early on a weekday, we could probably get into Pete's Tavern, which is a bar that has a lot of Christmas spirit.
This is the thing.
But unfortunately for us, it was already packed with a line 3 deep at the bar and nowhere to even stand. So we just went in and took some pictures before heading on. What's cool about Pete's is that it was opened in 1864, and that makes it the oldest continuously operating bar in New York City. It even survived Prohibition as a flower shop in the front and a speakeasy in the back. And then as you can see, they've taken on a second life as a Christmas bar, and man, they do a fantastic job with all of the decorations they put up. And because of this, December is very busy, so plan for a long wait if you want to eat here. Pete's Tavern's only a 7-minute walk from Union Square, so that's a great place to get the subway station, or they actually have a holiday market as well.
I always wondered where people in the city get their Christmas trees, and I guess right there.
Heading into Union Square, their holiday market is one of about a half dozen or so that are in the city. From what I could tell, there's about 100 or so vendors here, and it was all open air and nice to walk around, and it was a lot less busy than Bryant Park.
It's interesting that there's a lot of the same stores here, such as No Chewing Allowed and the hot sauce store. I guess a lot of the markets share stores. One of the cool things is that this one's right by the station, so you come up from the station and you're in the market.
From what I can tell, all of the markets that we visited were ran by somebody called Urban Space, and I'm guessing that's why a lot of them have the exact same stalls and food vendors. With how few people were here though, we got to enjoy this market a lot more, and the one at Columbus Circle that you'll see tomorrow.
Even though those markets had a lot of the same thing, it was still fun to explore them. And we were staying far away from Midtown right now because of the tree lighting tonight, so we're gonna head down the financial district.
We are here on Cornelia Street, and that is Taylor Swift's old house, in case you cared.
You can learn more about it by listening to Cornelia Street.
But the real reason we're here is because 2 minutes down from it is Sip and Guzzle, and this bar was voted one of the 50 best bars in the world, so we had to try it.
If you've watched our channel, you know that Amy and I are a sucker for a good cocktail bar. And having a new one in New York on the top 50 meant that we had to try it while we were in the city. This one's especially cool as there's an upper and a lower bar. The upper one, known as Sip, is more of a traditional bar, and then the lower one, known as Guzzle, is more of that speakeasy with those crazy weird cocktails. We tried a couple different drinks here, everything from the tomato tree that they're known for to the hot pot and to Grandma's drunken apple pie. If you're into a good cocktail bar, this is definitely a fun one, but note that it's about $20 to $22 for a drink. That's pretty standard at the top 50 bars, and it's definitely standard when you're in New York City. Because of that, we decided to keep it easy and relatively inexpensive and head to one of our favorite pizza places in the city for dinner. L'Industrie opened in Williamsburg in 2017 and quickly became one of the most talked about slices in the city. I actually tried the top 10 spots in the city with my cousin, and you can see that video in the description. And this was the one that I gave the top rating to, and you know that other people in the city love it as it's always busy.
This is basically my favorite pizza in New York. The L'Industrie slice, it's impossible to beat.
It is the best pizza in New York.
When you're in this part of New York, there's so much great pizza you can have. I love John's, I love L'Industrie that we already went to, but I also love Mama's too, especially the hot honey. And this is kind of different than the New York slice. It's a little bit more like Detroit, but it is very, very good. They don't make pizza like they make it in New York.
I was so full, but I'm managing to eat more because it's delicious.
I got to give a shout out to Mama's too as well. We were talking to someone who was homeless who was looking for something to eat, and literally a worker came out while we were talking to them and offered to give them some food. That is just so cool to see, so shout out to them.
Since we were close to Lower Manhattan, we decided to head over and see the Wall Street tree.
Sad day, the tree is not lit yet.
Unfortunately for us, we were one day early as the tree lighting was the next day, but we'll show it to you tomorrow. We decided to head over and take a picture with the bull, and as you could tell, there's not very many people here on a cold December night.
Also, you can see what side of the bull is popular, not the front side.
It really is wild to see no one here with the bull, because when we were here in the summer, the line was 100 deep for a photo.
And with that, it's 30 minutes back to our hotel in the subway. We'll see you tomorrow for day 2.
When we got back, we watched the tree lighting on TV, which was way better than standing out in the 20-degree cold for 10 hours. Alright, and with that, we'll see you tomorrow.
We're back in Midtown for day 2, and we were going to breakfast before exploring Central Park.
For breakfast, we headed to Carnegie Diner and Cafe, which is a loved spot that's been here for over a decade and is right across the street from Carnegie Hall.
This is a busy spot.
Yeah, and I can't believe you could fit in the seat that you're sitting in.
Barely.
We were told this spot was popular due to its location, but I didn't think it'd be this popular.
Amy's going big this morning with the steak and eggs.
Need fuel for the day.
And I just went with the California omelet. Both of them came out very fast, and it was a great spot for a nice hearty breakfast. Heading on, we walked the 5 minutes over to Central Park and then made our way to Columbus Circle, where another holiday market was happening. This market was again run by the same company, so it has a lot of the same stalls that we saw at the other markets. This is good and bad. It's good in that Bryant Park gets so busy that it's nice to be able to see a lot of those stalls at the other markets. And it's bad in that I would have liked to have seen more variety in the food stalls and the different market stalls. Of course there are some differences, it's just not as much as I thought there would be.
So this place is at every single market, and I recommend that you don't try it unless you want to buy a lot. Because I went to eat only one on the subway and I ate all 4, and I'm already back to buy more.
From there, we walked into Central Park, which is where we're going to be spending the next few hours exploring all of the Christmas attractions.
If you want to take a pedicab tour, be sure to book it in advance or to set it up with them for a flat rate, because that's one of the biggest scams in New York, is that you get on there and they charge you something like $10 a minute to take you around, and it ends up being a lot more. So just make sure you figure it all in advance if that's something you're going to do. Here's the famous Plaza Hotel from Home Alone 2. Unfortunately, you can't go inside without a reservation.
I read online that rooms start at $2,000 during December, so I don't think I'll be staying there anytime soon.
Walking through here feels like Christmas in New York.
Especially if there's a little bit of snow on the ground, but I'm not upset about that. I don't have the right shoes.
Our next stop was to head over to the famous Wollman Rink, and by the time we got there, they were using the Zamboni to clean it and no one was actually skating. Right after they finished, the rink opened back up and people flooded out onto it. I will say that this is one of the best places to skate though, as it has the most room of the ice skating rinks that we saw. Also, it's pretty iconic in New York City, and it was opened in 1949. It's been used in tons of holiday movies over the years, and it's just a cool spot to ice skate with the massive buildings surrounding you.
I love the idea of ice skating, but I am horrible at it, so no ice skating for me. Amy is pretty good, but she's not really in the ice skating mood either.
I don't want to go by myself, but I also don't want to carry this guy around.
I would have gone with you.
I don't think so.
I just would have hurt myself.
It would have been
there.
like, come on, dear, come on.
From there, we headed over towards the Children's Zoo to see the famous Delacorte musical clock. This clock was installed in 1965 and it has bronze animals that move around as it rings. Plus it plays nursery songs and holiday tunes every 30 minutes, which is supposed to add a whimsical, kid-friendly moment to the zoo. I'm not sure what this song was supposed to be, please let me know if you know.
That's one of the things I love most about New York, is just stumbling on little hidden gems like that clock. Never knew it was there. So cool to see. Now's a good time to talk about our sponsor for this video, LMNT.
LMNT is something that's been helping me a lot on these long travel days. It's a tasty electrolyte drink mix with everything you need and nothing that you don't. That means a science-backed ratio of 1,000 milligrams of sodium, 200 milligrams of potassium, and 60 milligrams of magnesium. It has no sugar, no coloring, no artificial ingredients, and no fillers. When you're traveling and on the go, especially walking 15,000 steps like we did in the city, or you're sweating a lot, you lose sodium fast, and that's where headaches, muscle cramps, and fatigue can sneak in. LMNT's made for anyone with electrolyte needs to help them stay in front of dehydration and to have great travel days.
If you're looking for a flavor recommendation, my favorite is watermelon.
And my favorite is still lemonade. Right now, LMNT is offering my subscribers a free sample pack with any purchase. That's 8 single-serving packs with any purchase. If you're interested, go to drinklmnt.com/throughmylens or click the link in the description. All right, let's explore more Central Park.
Heading on, we decided to explore more of Amy's favorite spots in Central Park, starting with the mall, and we were greeted with some awesome music. At the end of the mall, you'll make it to the Bethesda Fountain.
I don't think it's as cool when there's no water, but I guess it does freeze, so there's that.
Believe it or not, this fountain has been here for over 150 years, and it was designed by Emma Stebbins, one of the first women to receive a major public art commission in the United States. And then as you head on, the Central Park hits keep coming, with the next one being the famous Bow Bridge. The Bow Bridge has also been here for over 150 years, and it's one of the most popular spots in all of Central Park for photos. It's been featured in many different TV shows and movies filmed in Central Park.
Amy's living her best life right now. She found a fruit vendor and she's just sitting next to the Bow Bridge.
And from there, the last part of Central Park we are exploring today is known as the Ramble.
It's just such an amazing time to be in Central Park. You have the fall colors from the seasons changing, but it still feels like Christmas around here with all the people and the festive things that they have going on. It's just a magical time to be here and to see so many of these famous spots that you've seen in the movies over the years. We're finishing our tour of Central Park by heading to the Met. We want to see the Christmas tree there, get a hot dog, and then we're gonna go back and relax because we're gonna have a busy night.
While there are lots of food stalls on your way to the Met, my go-to is the Hot Dog King, which is right out front of the stairs. The Hot Dog King is basically an institution in New York, and if you're not familiar with him, I'll link to a video in the description that gives you more information.
There's just something iconic New York about eating a hot dog on the steps of the Met. Cheers. And Amy's going with the corn dog. She can't do the traditional hot dog. It's not her jam.
After finishing lunch, we went into the Met and we went right to the Christmas tree, which is displayed inside of the medieval sculpture hall. This tradition started in 1957 when Loretta Hines Howard first allowed her 18th century Baroque figures to be displayed. It became such a hit that she actually ended up donating the entire collection in 1964. Now the collection has over 200 figures such as angels that are hanging from the 20-foot blue spruce tree.
Something really interesting about the figurines is that they've been acquired since the 60s from 18th century masters. They're made of hand-carved wood and linen and wire bodies.
I recommend carving out some time just to take it in and look at all the different figures. Of course, since you already paid to enter the museum, you should spend some more time exploring it. I recommend at least going up to the upper level and seeing the Van Gogh paintings and the Monet paintings that they have on display. And going to the ancient Egyptian area, which is one of the most impressive collections of Egyptian art I've seen outside of the British Museum. But this video is not about the Met, so let's continue on.
That was a really awesome stop. I didn't expect to like the Christmas tree as much as I did, and knowing the history and how it's there every year, definitely something worth seeing during the Christmas time. Now we're heading back to our hotel to rest before our crazy night. Also, it's hard to not film with sound in New York City.
On the way back to the subway, we walked past Blank Street Coffee, which is one of Amy's favorite places to get a matcha. And of course, we found another place to stop at on the way to the subway.
If you're looking for something a little bit sweet, this is Angelina, which is the best hot chocolate I've ever had in my life in Paris, and you can get it right here in New York. There's no way I could take down a small, it's so rich, but luckily they do a shot of hot chocolate here, and I wasn't about to pass that up. This is where it's at. It's thick, it's creamy, it's sweet. Best hot chocolate I've ever had in my life.
Oh my gosh. It is so thick, but amazing.
So now 3 hours after I said we were going back to the hotel, we're finally going back to the hotel to chill for our night. Amy's used to it though. Every time I tell her we're gonna go somewhere and then it's still like another hour before we make it, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Just don't ever expect it until we're actually there.
After relaxing for a couple hours, it was back out again, stopping by the Ghostbusters station and then heading to Lower Manhattan to go to Wall Street.
All right, it looks promising. Ta-da! Wow, look at that.
Luckily for us, the second time is the charm and the Wall Street Christmas tree was on full display. Look at how cool this is with the massive tree and the red and green on the building behind it. I read online that this is a tradition that dates back to the early 1900s, but the first official tree lighting ceremony was in 1920.
I think that was worth coming down for. What do you think?
Yeah, I can't hang out here too long, but it's pretty awesome to see. I'm glad we came.
Well, it's Rockefeller next.
Oh gosh.
Amy and I are speed running Christmas in Midtown right now because it is so cold. So we're going to Bryant Park Winter Village. We're going to walk up 5th Avenue and then we're going to go to the Rockefeller Tree.
I hope you enjoy our efforts.
Heading back to the subway, our first stop brought us to the Bryant Park Winter Village. We figured that if we didn't see it at nighttime, we couldn't say that we actually saw it, as the lights and everything are what you come to see.
It's super surprising that all of these stores are closed. I mean, it is 9:45 at night, but I don't know. I would have expected them to be open. There's a lot of people here.
It's the season.
I hope the chocolate store is not open because I'd have to buy more.
I do have to say, it looked pretty fun to ice skate in the shadow of the Christmas tree here, but we didn't get reservations, so we couldn't go.
Well, and there you have it, yet another magical tree.
Why you gotta do this to me? Look at this. None of these stores are open, but the chocolate shop knew I was coming. It knew.
It knew. I guess it's a sign to stock up.
Those things are so good. I'm gonna have to start sending those to myself. We need a monthly budget for them.
Oh my God.
Or maybe they'll sponsor me. Please sponsor me.
In case you're wondering, they're just chocolate truffles that you let melt in your mouth, but the different flavors have things inside of the chocolates, so like pieces of pistachio or pieces of raspberry, and as it melts, those pieces come out. From here we walked up 5th Avenue and the Saks light display came into view as we got closer. This goes off every 10 minutes and it's pretty awesome to see.
I thought there was going to be a lot more to see on the walk up to 5th Avenue, but we're here and we're waiting for the show to start as we just saw at the end.
One more note about the pedicabs, they look like a lot of fun, but be sure you figure out the pricing beforehand. I wish I could play this light show for you, but because of the copyright songs, I can't. Just note that it's an awesome thing that happens in the city and it goes off every 10 minutes, so it's really easy to see it and you don't have to fight big crowds. Or at least you don't in the beginning of December. I'm sure you always fight big crowds later in December.
Now that the moment you've all been waiting for, we're about to experience with 10,000 of our closest friends, the most beautiful tree.
I actually thought there were going to be a lot more people here, but it was the night after the tree lighting, so we got pretty lucky in that it was relatively sparse for this spot in New York. What is there to say about the Rockefeller Center Christmas tree that hasn't been said before? I mean, this is one of the most, if not the most famous Christmas tree in the world. The first official public tree was placed here in 1933, and they choose the tree from a private home or farm across the Northeast and sometimes even further.
I mean, look, it's wild with the amount of people that are here, but I have seen that on the TV my entire life, so to be able to see it with my own eyes is pretty cool.
Yeah, it's beautiful and the best one we've seen today.
In case you were wondering how much it costs to skate here, I saw tickets ranging from about $55 to $125 depending on when you went. That didn't include the cost of rentals too, you had to pay for that separately.
That is by far the most lights I've ever seen on a tree in my life. Look at that.
I was wondering if they actually take all those lights off or if they just chuck them in the trash and start over next year.
Just saw somebody get engaged. I'm sure the first of hundreds this season. That's a pretty cool spot to get engaged though. And with that, day 2 is done. Honestly, there wasn't that many people there. I bet it gets way worse as the season goes on. We'll see you tomorrow for our last day in New York City. It's a cold morning in the city, one of those mornings where it's so cold, you can see your breath. We're heading in to explore more Manhattan.
We stayed in Long Island City, which was great for us as it was so much cheaper than the hotels in Midtown were. And it was really easy to get everywhere, about 15 to 20 minutes to the main spots. So for today, we headed to Midtown again, but this time to see Macys, the world's biggest department store. Before heading over to explore Macys, we decided to go to Moka Co. This is a Yemen specialty coffee shop which makes some great drinks and some very unique pastries.
So I let Amy pick and she ordered a pastry and it was $15, so it better be the best pastry of all time. But it does look pretty good.
You seemed excited about it
There's
too.
like these bananas.
I didn't choose that.
Cheers.
You just got
This is
excited by a banana.
Yemen coffee. I'm so excited. It's a fun spot. All right, let's see what happens with this banana right here.
There's a
Whoa. All right, trying the $15 pastry. Is very good. Not $15 good, but very good.
I think it's worth $15. Delicious.
That was a really interesting spot for a coffee. I feel like I was drinking tea more than I was drinking coffee, but I love trying new things. And now we are exploring Macys.
Macys opened in the early 1900s and became the largest department store in the world. The store's Christmas tradition supposedly started right after they opened, with early window displays that drew huge crowds.
Check it out. This window is a video game you can play where you try to throw presents into the basket.
The window displays here often take months to create, and you can see that by how awesome they are as you're walking around. They have movements, sounds, there's video games you can play, there's all sorts of stuff going on.
It's pretty awesome to see the way that they did those different windows. Everybody's enjoying it.
Of course, if you walk inside, you see a fully decorated department store as well, with the Macys Holiday Square Market being on the bottom floor.
I already like this market. I just walked in and they gave me sticky toffee pudding chocolate to walk around with. Cheers. Oh no, the chocolate store is back. Do we need more?
They're following you. I think you need more.
Oh, I heard.
This market had 35 stores, and it was one of the most festive we saw. It was really fun the way that they had Christmas trees everywhere, they had lights on the ceiling, they had lots of different places you could take photos, and of course, they had a donut shop.
Check it out, right outside of Macys, there's another holiday market.
We exited on the 6th Avenue side, and I was surprised to see more window displays out here, and these were definitely better than the ones we saw in the beginning. My favorite was the Macys Thanksgiving Day Parade one, which had a bunch of balloons that were rotating around a cutout of the store. And then they had this one, which gave you an opportunity to embarrass yourself by singing along to a Christmas carol.
What fun!
You got no one or something sleigh. Jingle bells, jingle bells, jingle all the way.
I can't believe how magical those window displays were. Not only was there interactive experiences, it was just beautiful to look at.
I agree, Macy's was a lot cooler than I expected it to be. Definitely don't miss that. Now we're heading to Times Square.
Outside of Macy's, there was another holiday market ran by the same people that we could walk through on our way to Times Square.
In case you're wondering, you can get a raclette with no line there, but you also notice the smell, which if you're not in the mood for it, does not smell very good.
No, usually I'm excited about it, but right now I'm not.
Not in the morning. In case you're wanting pizza in Times Square, this is by far the best, but as you can tell, there's a lot of people waiting for it.
I try to avoid Times Square whenever I go to New York, but they had something interesting they were doing down here today, so we decided to stop by. Plus, it is fun to see the ball up there waiting to drop at the end of 2025. The thing we went to do in Times Square was called the Confetti Wish. They set this up in December, and I think that it's been going for a few years, but I couldn't get confirmation on that. And then what they allow you to do is to grab a piece of confetti and then write a wish that you have for 2026 on it.
Lots of fun adventures for all my subscribers in 2026. It's going in Times Square for New Year's Eve.
Alright, what color you want?
And then you drop it in the box and they'll actually throw it from the top of one of the big buildings down on the people who are celebrating New Year's Eve in Times Square.
Times Square is not my favorite place, but I thought it was so cool that you could write a wish and that they'd throw it out on New Year's Eve, and so I really wanted to do that while I was here.
Oh, wild here.
Leaving Times Square, we hopped in the subway and we took the short ride over to Grand Central Terminal.
Grand Central Terminal is so cool, and I like the subtle wreaths that they did for the Christmas decorations in here. It's awesome.
As someone who loves trains, it doesn't matter when you visit Grand Central Terminal, it is always cool, but it's especially cool at Christmas time.
There's Amy getting some awesome Instagram shots. As you come in, they have a holiday fair. You just have to be looking for it. It's over there.
The holiday market they had here was 3 rows and probably about 50 or so vendors.
All right, that holiday market is definitely not my jam. It's very high-priced gifts and jewelry and stuff. But if you're into it, go check it out.
The reason we came over here wasn't for the holiday market. It was to go to the New York Transit Museum and to see the train set they had made for Christmas.
Check it out. The Empire State Building has King Kong on it. And I love all these twinkling lights.
One of the workers there told us they'd been doing this for decades and that they set up some of the city's top attractions for the trains to go around. I'm a huge fan of model trains. Pop set one up every year for Christmas, so I always love being able to see them like this.
That's a pretty nice exit to a subway station.
So surprising. How beautiful.
Heading on, our next stop brought us to the Vessel and Hudson Yards. I had always heard that Hudson Yards was one of the best places to see Christmas decorations, so I was excited for this one. I mean, I have to say it lived up to the hype. Look at how beautiful this display is right when you walk in, and the rest of the mall was pretty festive as well.
I feel like every other city I've been to, Christmas is a checkbox. But here in New York, the whole city is on board and it is like an entire being.
Note that this is also a great place in the city to find an easy restroom, which is not always possible in New York City. And we grabbed some coffee at Blue Bottle and then set out to explore. I didn't think I was going to care much about the displays here, but as soon as I walked up to the second floor, I was blown away by how stunning it was. I mean, whoever created this should definitely get a raise.
I think this is one of the coolest views that we've seen so far. I bet it's pretty amazing at nighttime as well.
Do let me know how this is at nighttime, as I was bummed that I didn't get to go on this trip, but this is a spot I will definitely go back to if I come for Christmas again here.
It's It's cool to see that the vessel is back open. It's $10 for tickets if you want to climb up there, and it is definitely too cold to do that today.
Next time I'm here, I will definitely do that. But now we're heading out on the Highline to walk Chelsea Market for lunch, or early dinner. From Hudson Yards to Chelsea Market on the Highline is about a mile. But it's one of the easiest miles you'll walk in New York City since it's flat, you don't have to cross any streets, and you get great views the whole time. The Highline is such a cool part of the city. I love coming up here and walking along it and being able to look down on the streets. You don't have to stop for any stoplights or traffic. Just a cool thing that they created up here. The Highline was originally created in the 1930s as an elevated freight line to move goods without clogging Manhattan streets. It shut down in the 80s and it was almost demolished before local residents fought to save it. The Highline as you see it today was opened in phases starting in 2009.
We're exiting the Highline and Chelsea Market is right there.
Chelsea Market is another great example of how they reused a historic space just like the Highline. The market sits inside of the old Nabisco factory where the Oreo cookie was invented in the early 1900s. And in the 1990s it was transformed into a market and office space. It had a few Christmas displays to see, but we were really there for the food.
This is basically just a tour of some of our favorite spots. Los Tacos #1 is definitely a favorite for me.
I tried this the first time with my cousin in the food video I mentioned earlier, but it was started by 3 friends from Tijuana and California who wanted to bring that authentic style to New York. I thought that there was no way it could be that good since I'm from California and we know good tacos, but after eating here, it's one of my favorite places in the city now.
We literally only get adobada here. It is by far the best. This is as good as any taco you could get in California, that's for sure. Also, pro tip, the quesadilla one where they put cheese and then they put all the stuff that they normally put in the taco is next level as well.
I need 2 of those next time.
It's called a quesadilla, but it's basically just a taco with cheese on the bottom. Look at that, they load that thing up. For our last stop on this trip, we're heading down to a neighborhood in South Brooklyn. It's supposed to have amazing Christmas lights.
The area we're going to is called Dyker Heights, and by far the most difficult part about it is figuring out how to get there. When we were there, the easiest way was to take the X22 Express bus, which took about an hour to get down, but dropped you off right next to it. You can also take the subway, but it's about a 20-minute walk from where the subway drops you off if you want to walk there. Note that the bus can get busy, and I gave up my seat and stood for about 30 minutes until we got down there. And then we got dropped off right next to the neighborhood and we were able to start exploring within 5 minutes of walking.
We made it to Dyker Heights, which is one of the best places for Christmas lights, and we are starting the walk. You can walk up and down these streets, and a ton of the streets have lights on them. We're a little early, they're just turning on, but look at these lights down here, and also there's no crowds yet.
Everything I read said to get there around 4:30, which was right around sunset, and then as the sun goes down, the lights start coming on. But that this was one of the best ways to avoid the crowds as well, and so that's what we did.
This is so cool. You look that way and there's lights, that way and there's lights, and that way.
Also, everything I read said to avoid the weekends as it's a madhouse down here and it's no fun. You can see most of the lights on 83rd, 84th, 85th, and 86th Street between 10th and 12th Avenue. And as you can probably start to tell, this is not like any other Christmas lights display you have ever been to.
That house was worth the entire adventure to get down here by itself. That was amazing.
From what I read online, it said that this Christmas tradition started in the 1980s when a few homeowners began putting up big displays.
These lights are insane.
From those initial displays, the movement grew, and block by block, it became a full destination for holiday tourism. I mean, they literally have tours that you can pay for that will take you from Manhattan down here in a tour bus.
Here's Amy's house right here with the pretty white lights.
I would take that.
And there's my house with the crazy green.
It pretty much depicts our personalities. Look at this one.
I cannot overstate how magical this was. I didn't know what to expect, and we loved every minute of this.
Check it out, it's snowing from this house.
I should note that while this event is free to visit, many of the houses sell things like hot chocolate or treats or even have donation boxes, and I definitely recommend you buy something while exploring to support how amazing all of this is.
I don't know, this might be my favorite thing I've done in New York for Christmas. Maybe. Wow, that is a big Santa and Mrs. Claus. We're on 83rd Street now, and we are reaching another very festive area.
This collection of 6 houses went all out, and the one that had the Believe sign on it was so light it felt like daytime.
You guys, this might be my favorite one. Look at how bright that is with all of the crazy lights. This is just so much fun. Everybody here is having a good time. People are laughing when the fake snow comes out. I'm sure it gets crazy packed and not as fun as you get closer to Christmas, but right now this is about as good as it gets for the Christmas spirit.
All in, we spent about 2 hours just wandering around Dyker Heights and taking in as much as we possibly could, and there's probably another 100 houses that we missed. When we were done, we jumped back on the X28 and we took it back into Midtown, this time in traffic, and so it took about an hour and 20 minutes.
After a long bus ride, we have made it back to our hotel. That's the end of our 3 days in New York. Hopefully you enjoyed exploring with us as much as we enjoyed it. If you want to see more Christmas stuff, we're heading to Bethlehem tomorrow. You can see that here, or you can see our other Christmas videos over here. All right, we'll see you on the next one.